2 days ago during my morning pages, I decided I'm going to tell some jokes. So my first joke for yesterday was from a quote by Ronald Reagan. He said, recession is when your neighbor loses his job. Depression is when you lose your job. And my friend Bernard Chan replied, and he said, actually, depression is when your car COE is due next month, because COEs are now at an all-time high. That is real depression, so it's funny, but it's not so funny. So when Huison asked me to do Fresh Friday, or where the F word is funny, this is exactly what I want to do. Okay, so let me start straight away, okay, because I'm not sure how long this is going to take. I'm going to share my screen because I've got some pictures for you, okay, and some videos too. Okay, so it's Fresh Friday, and I'm going to be talking about chickens, okay, the chickens that I have at home. So some years back, I was given these 4 chickens, look pretty motley, and this is on my balcony. So I kept them on my balcony to Jackie's protest, of course, because they smell, they make noise, and every morning when I have my quiet time, I'll have my quiet time with this chicken. So they grew up with me. And this funny looking thing on the left is actually turned out to be the rooster, and these were hens. So they grew up bigger. When they got bigger, I put them out in a cage under the rambutan tree. I constructed a special cage for them. Okay, and you can see this is the rooster, it's slightly different color from the hens. And then they grew bigger. Okay, they grew bigger, and I had eggs every day. Okay, this is the box in their coop. Okay, I had eggs every day. Then someone wanted a home for these chickens, and I couldn't resist it. I said yes. Really, really cute gray chickens. Both were hens. Okay, so they grew up with me. I had my quiet time, and they would sit on me and all this. But a sad story is they too gave chickens. Sorry, they too laid eggs. So I had a lot of eggs. The sad story is that my dog didn't like chickens, and so he attacked them, and I lost both of them eventually. Okay. Then I got offered these 2 silkies. Okay, silkies are lovely, except these were roosters, and they were quite aggressive and quite noisy. And here you see a picture of Zuri. So Zuri is not supposed to be there. I don't know how she got there, carrying the life. So when you keep chickens and you keep dogs, this dog's supposed to be a lion hunter. I don't know why he goes after small prey like like chickens. I guess I guess he's keeping his hunting instincts, giving practice. He must have been listening to my mastery talks. Okay, okay. So the first original rooster, that's how he looks. Okay, and he became quite fierce. Okay, because when you don't pet him all the time, they leave them out on their own. They become a bit wild, and then he has to fend himself against Zuri, and then you get encounters like this here. Okay, so that rooster managed to survive that incident, and Zuri also managed to survive, but they don't like each other. Okay, that big rooster and Zuri. Okay. So anyway, so I ended up with 4 males. Okay, 4 male roosters. So I was looking for a hen because I wanted some eggs, I guess. you know. So my friend Shuling told me, hey, this guy's wanting to find a home for his female of his female hen. So this is guy Keith. Okay, so this was just Chinese New Year. He passed the hen to me and I said, update me when she starts laying eggs. Okay. Then I asked him, this is just shortly after that, hey, did your hen ever lay eggs? He said 1 or 2 weeks before I gave you, it had a soft egg thing. Okay, so this is how it looked like. And so this is what the hen looked like. Okay. Now I'm not really familiar with chickens. There's so many varieties. But I thought, okay, finally we had a hen. We kept them separate initially because this is an aggressive male, didn't want to scare the hen. And then one morning, I wake up early in the morning. I have I do my morning pages. I was sitting down there and I heard this. Now, a hen's not supposed to crow. What's happening here? Okay, so it turns out that I did some research. Okay, it turns out that in rare cases, hens actually become roosters by some strange process. So, it's either that or I got conned, and the guy actually was trying to get rid of his rooster and told me he was laying eggs. Okay, so so here he is now with a the what do you call it, the crown or what, it's getting bigger. This is a stray chicken that flies in to eat the food. Okay, so now I've got 4 roosters, 4 males who are crowing every morning. Okay, and then they compete with each other to crow, and that's lovely. It's the sounds of the country and all this kind of stuff. But when Yenny was staying here, she just came in from New York. She stayed with us, and she had difficulty sleeping. I think it's the time zone, but it doesn't help when the roosters start crowing at 4 o'clock. Okay, and eventually, when she told Pastor Bill about this, that she can't sleep and all that, he ordered her to leave my home immediately and found a hotel for her. So I lost my good friend because of these roosters making so much noise. And then shortly after that, I got this letter in my letterbox. I think it's my neighbor who comes from ACS and cannot write Chinese, but he disguised himself so that I don't think it's him by writing some Chinese here. But he basically he politely say like to raise an issue with you regarding your pet chickens. Recently, your pet chicken has been clucking very loudly and regularly, sometimes at night, sometimes for a few hours overnight, and every day early in the morning before 5:45. Actually, they start crowing at 4 a.m. Okay, this has affected our sleep, and we are often woken up abruptly by your chickens clucking. Okay, so this guy thinks it's 1 chicken. It's actually 4 chickens, so it's non-stop. Okay, they take turns. Okay, so obviously I've got to deal with this situation. We wanna keep our neighbors, but I'm also quite a bit fed up of these roosters. I mean, they don't produce eggs. I spent a lot of money feeding them. They attack my dog. They attack me. Okay, this was an excuse to do something about it finally. So I wrote to Shuling, who first got me those noodles, those chickens. I said, Shuling, neighbors are complaining about my roosters crowing early in the morning, 4 a.m. I want to get rid of the 2 big ones under the rambutan tree. Just release them in the wild or cook them. And she said, don't release them in the wild. They can't survive. And then, she thought I needed convincing. So 20 minutes later, she said, it's a death sentence to the roos if you abandon them. Contact Chicken Rescue Home, Rehome. Okay, so there are organizations I found out that actually take in these chickens that people abandon, but people will get rid of roosters, and it's hard to find someone who will take a rooster because they're just really, really noisy. So when I checked out the rooster homes and all this, eventually the one that I thought I would go to, that closed down. Okay. It just closed down. Okay. So I sent this, I started Googling, said alternative, I have to cook them, you know. So I went to Google how to slaughter a chicken. I got look at instructions. Here they got how to humanely kill a chicken. Okay, I don't think Shuling will be happy whether it's humanely or not inhumanely killing her chickens. But so I checked that up. Then I messaged my son Daniel. I said, tonight is rooster killing time. Plan. Get him in the dark when he's roosting and cut his throat or chop off his head. That's your part. I'll hold the torchlight. He said, you're kidding. I said, I'm serious. So he said, you want to kill all four? I said, only the oldest, noisiest rooster that attacks Zuri. Okay, so when you're not a friendly person, you are the first one to be eliminated, whether you're blocked from Facebook or whatever it is. So he said, how about the rest? They're also noisy. Okay, so, you know, vets are basically protectors of of pets. You're supposed to keep them alive, you know. So he went to Google, okay, this crow collar rooster, and he said, "Pop, take a look at that." So I said, okay, so I told him, order for me, otherwise he becomes soup. And so this is what a crow collar rooster, I found out. It basically is a Velcro strap, okay, which you put around the neck of the rooster, and it's supposed to constrict them, their throat, so they cannot take a deep breath and do that noisy crow. Of course, you never believe advertisements. You don't put the collar like this. Okay, you've got to actually put it tight enough. In fact, it's so tight that it's got to go under the feathers. Because can you imagine if it's on top of the feathers, he's got a lot of room for the throat to move. So it's actually very, very tight. So the first time we put it on, the guy made as much noise as before because it wasn't tight enough. So we tightened it. He still made noise. So, Daniel and I tightened it again. And I tell you, it's really funny. Emily woke up one morning. I gone stand up paddling. She quickly told Daniel, he said, the chicken's color, instead of having a red crown, it was turned purple. He was gasping for breath. So Daniel removed the collar. It's not so easy. But let me show you a picture of Daniel catching the rooster to put the collar the first time.
Shine in his eyes.
So Google says shine in the guy's eyes and he won't move. Oh, it's not as straightforward as that. Okay, so this is inexperience of an urban people. They don't even know how to catch chickens. But I can tell you, many of our children, they don't know what a chicken looks like. They only know what a chicken looks like when it's on the plate. They probably don't even know it's got feathers and things like that. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So that's the end of my sharing. I hope you had a good laugh. But what's the significance actually of all this, other than just a funny story? Why do we keep chickens? Actually, it's therapeutic. I'm an outdoor person, so you hear the chickens clucking and all this. You feel like I'm back in the country. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, it stimulates all senses. You know, there's smell, there's sight. You see them around, and of course, very soon, if the chicken collar doesn't work, it's going to stimulate my sense of taste when I cook the fella. Okay, and of course, the other serious side is there's just commitment. Okay, commitment to feed the thing daily, commitment to to clean up after it, and that's good that you're committed to. Of course, if Jackie hears that, she says it's your mate that does all this work, not you. Yeah, so my mate and I are good friends. Okay, anyway, it's past 15 minutes, and I hope I hope you know why when I'm busy at night, what I'm up to. Okay, bye everyone.